Good morning, and welcome back to my channel. If this information is helpful to you guys, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Today, we're just going to talk about 5 types of people you must discern and distance yourself from. For me, I have ran into all different kinds of people, but my inner circle, we're talking about your inner circle and the voices that you trust in your life, right? But here's the thing about people. Not everybody God wants you to cut off, and not everybody you are going to cut off. You're going to have friends, you're going to have families that you're going to just place them in a certain box in your life, right? Not everybody needs to be cut off, because sometimes the opposite person of you could be teaching you a lesson and growing you, and you don't know why, right? I used to cut people off because I just did. But anyway, it was probably from my upbringing and from my background of who I was back then. It was easy not to trust people. And especially coming from childhood, it was easy not to trust people. So I adapted to not really trusting people easily. I always had observation. I always could kind of like read people's behavior or just their whole body language. I always had that. So God just pretty much with me now, I'm not going to say perfect that, but he actually cleaned it up to a better like discernment. I have better discernment now. And I always tell my kids to ask God and pray for discernment, because you need discernment whenever you're dealing with people or things or environments. Anyway, you need God's discernment. You need that spiritual discernment to help you walk through life in general. Now for me, like I said, I just place people where they go. I do have friends, and I do have associates. I place those separate because that's what it is. That's how I live my life. Not everybody is a friend. Not everybody is a best friend. Not everybody wants to see you do good, even if you think they do. It's just you got to read, you got to know, and not necessarily always just telling that person, this person doesn't support me. You know, if that person doesn't support you, you know, to place that person in a certain box or category. It's just discerning and listening and picking up on things that people are throwing out, but you're not really paying attention to. I always tell my kids that too, as far as quit calling people friends so fast. It takes a while to really know a person. It really does. That's why it says acknowledge God in all you do. Everything, whether it's a friendship or relationship, you are to bring that to God, because you don't want somebody in your circle that pretty much means you harm. But nowadays, everybody want a circle. No, you got to really, really pay attention to your circle. You can be friends with anybody, yeah, but not everybody deserves access to you. You have to earn that. In order for you to earn that, there are certain steps, certain qualities, certain things that I am looking for in a person in order for you to be in my close circle, right? So we're going to get into it. Guarding your circle, making sure you know what is in your circle and who is in your circle, but because people are so easily to manipulate you. People are they're so easy to pretend that there's something that they're not, even down to their character, integrity, their personality. Satan also comes in through people to disguise himself as a friend of yours. So you have to really just make it sure that you're paying attention to people at all times. I used to say assume the best intentions of someone until they show you otherwise. Just recently, with everything going on in the world, I told my kids, I'm like, it's almost like I have to assume that you are the enemy first, that you're after something that you want from me in order for me to even develop a friendship. Because everybody, not everybody, but the majority of people either want something from you, manipulate you, or just want to flat out hurt you, especially men. As far as getting into a relationship with a man or woman, you should take that to God, because people can disguise themselves easily, and next thing you know, this person is not who they say they are. That's why you take it to God, because God knows who this person is. He knows if this is the helper that he has for you, right? So take that stuff to God first in all friendships, all relationships. It doesn't even matter what it is, even with family. Just because family is blood doesn't always mean that that family is there for you. Family sometimes can be your worst enemy, to be true. To be honest, family sometimes can be your worst enemy. So we're going to jump in to the discussion and keep it moving, right? Everyone in your life has an assignment, but not everyone is signed to stay. And what I mean by that is some of us take on things that God did not tell us to take on. And I am guilty of that. I am guilty of that. Everybody is not your assignment. Just because somebody come into your life, that does not mean that they're your assignment, okay? Some people come into your life to teach you something, or some people come into your life to stay, but not everybody is your assignment. And that's where we get things confused at. We think everybody is our assignment. We take on things, especially if somebody have a sad story, we take on that responsibility, but that's not what God is saying to us. Not clearly, not to take on everybody's responsibility. So that is a way also, God, did you send this person in my life? And if you did, for what? What is it that I need to get from this person, or what is it that I need to give to this person? Because it's not that you're going to always be getting. God could be also saying he wants you to be friends with this person, or maybe this person needs to learn something from you. Yes, but not everybody is your assignment. And us as believers, we want to take on responsibilities that God did not give us. And then we want to wonder, why do we feel drained, or why is it that we feel depleted, right? Because that wasn't your assignment. Okay, let's move along. Some people are meant to sharpen you, others to support you, and some to reveal what needs healing inside of you. The Bible repeatedly warns us that who we walk with shapes who we become, and that is very vital. Who is in your circle is very vital to the fact of who you're becoming. Some people in your life should be sharpening you, right? Not everybody is going to destroy you, but you have to discern the difference. Let's see what Proverbs 13:20 said. He who walks with wise men will be wise, but the comparison of fools will be destroyed. Comparison of fools will be destroyed. This teaching is not about judging people. It is about protecting purpose. Let's talk about 5 kinds of people you must stay away from. Why people stay in familiar relationships that don't challenge them, which is an issue. Challenge them, and why discernment is essential to your growth. So that is what we're going to talk about today. For me, I like to have friends that are above me, that I can look up to. Right now, where I'm at in my life, there is no one that I have to look up to at all. But at the same time, there are people in my life that have bits and pieces of things that I'm like, okay, I like the way this person does that. But spiritually, as far as where God is taking me, I do not have that yet. Yes, I am praying for a community that God send that in my life. And when he's ready, he will. Okay, we're going to talk about it. The first person to stay away from is the constantly negative person. And all of us know somebody that's constantly negative. I know I have dealt with it, seen it, and I can't do it, right? So what is the character or personality of the person that is constantly negative, right? Always complaining, critical, sees problems in every situation, drains emotional and spiritual energy. I know we all know somebody like that, right? So when you deal with a person like that, for me, I have to not answer the phone or not deal with them on a certain level, because I don't need, like, if you see somebody calling you and you look at the phone and you instantly know that this person has something negative to say or is going to drain you, then maybe don't answer it, right? You just let that go. Negative, and that's not to cut that person off. Put that person in a certain box. Negative stuff spreads faster than encouragement. Over time, it reshapes how you think, speak, and expect outcomes, right? Let's read what Proverbs 17 and 22 says about that. A merry heart does good like medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones. Okay, so if a person constantly calling you and they're negative, they're drying your bones. They're drying the desire out of you. Why would you want to continue to be in that? Like if you get on the phone or hang out with a certain person, and every time you hang out with that person or on the phone and you get off and you just have a bad spirit or you in a bad mood, then you should know that person has a negative spirit. That person's just negative. I'm gonna give you an example. You share a vision or dream, and instead of support, they immediately point out why it won't work. Now, you got to be careful with that because some trusted voices will give you the right opinion or the right thing that they feel like this may not work after you done looked at the situation in X, Y, and Z. You know, they will tell you the honest truth, but then you have those negative people that every time you bring something, they feel like it's not going to work, it's not going to work, it's not going to work. Then you should know that that's a negative people, right? Person. The person that manipulate you, that's number 2. Manipulation, a user, right? The character and personality of this person is uses guilt, control, or emotional pressure. Relationships are transactional, shows up only when they need something. I know we all dealt with that because I have too. I have too. I have too. Those kind of people, I pretty much put in a different boat too, or either just cut them off, whichever you desire. But those are not good people to have in your inner circle. People that are going to use you. As far as relationship with trauma bonding, a lot of trauma bond comes from the guy or the girl doing manipulation also in order to will you in. Okay, why to stay away from this type of person? Manipulation slowly erodes your confidence and boundaries. These people don't love you, they need you. Useful. And a lot of relationships right now, people thinking that that person actually loved them whenever it's just a manipulation of the spirit to manipulate you into doing whatever it is they want you to do, or making you feel bad or guilty for not doing something that they need you to do, right? They disappear when you need help, but demand loyalty when they do it. So they disappear when you need help. But when they need help, they demand your loyalty, right? Number 3, the unaccountable person. Character and personality, never takes responsibility, blames others for everything, repeats the same mistakes without growth. We all have that kind of person in our life too. And you see it. Now, for me, I will put that person in a certain box because I will be thinking, like, as I'm praying for that person, I'll be thinking, God, please help this person to learn how to hold him or herself accountable for their actions. But instead, they want to blame everything for somebody else. And a lot of that stuff comes from unhealed trauma or unhealed relationships when they do that, right? Why to stay away from this person? A person who refuses accountability will eventually make you the excuse for their behavior. Yes. These kind of people are unhealed people. It's everybody else's fault except yours. It's never your fault. It's never your fault. And even if you are that type of person and this video finds you, you have to take that stuff to God and get healed. It's not everybody else's fault. Some of this stuff be your fault. You just don't want to take accountability for it. Okay, so what can I give you as an example for that one is every broken relationship they have is everyone else's fault. And we all know somebody that everything that happens is somebody else's fault. It's never their fault. Number 4, the secretive, competitive person. We all have that too. It's almost like an underlying jealousy. It's almost like an underlying jealousy. And this is what I tell my kids about all the time. Okay, so what are their character or personality? Smiles in the public, but envies you privately, minimizes your success, and compete instead of celebrate. Yes, I have encountered those kind of people as well. Especially minimize your success, because here's the thing, some people wish that they had the courage or the bonus to do the thing that you're doing, so they're not going to support you no matter what. They don't even ask questions about what you got going on because they're secretly jealous of you, right? Why you need to stay away from those kind of people. Envy, it corrodes relationships and invites division. And like I said, for that, I put it in a different box. I know what to share to that person and what not to share. But for the most part, you know when you encounter that kind of person, right? Let's see what James 3:16 says, Bible, for that. For where envy and self-seeking exist, confusion and every evil thing are there. That's why it's vital to take everything to God. They go quiet when good things happen for you or suddenly turn cold. That's the number one thing. Do you have somebody in your life right now that when things are going good, or you're making your videos, or you're doing this and you're doing that, working on your business, they're not really happy for you? They don't support you. They don't hit any likes or comments under your videos to make you, make it flourish or whatever it do what you do. They pretty much go quiet whenever you're working on projects. Their lack of concern about anything that you have going on. But if something going bad, maybe, they're discussing it. Oh, yeah, God is good. They will talk about God to you and to keep going, and things going to happen. They will talk those things, but secretly, they're jealous. Secretly, they're not really supporting you. You got to know your people. Okay, and number 5, the comfort keeper. Familiar but unfruitful. Their character and personality may go something like this. Keep you in old versions of yourself. Doesn't challenge growth or maturity. Resistant to change. We all know that person that's just not going to change. And when you find a person that's just completely not going to change, it is no point in spending all your time and energy feeding into that person until they're ready, right? Familiar things feel safe, even for me, being in a familiar atmosphere or familiar people, that is a safe thing. But I have been prayed about that a long time ago. I don't want anything familiar to me, because then that's not challenging my growth, right? It feels safe, but it often blocks transformation. Bad company corrupts good morals. If you're trying to change your life and you know that this person does X, Y, and Z, there's really no point in you hanging out with that person at all. At all. Right? Because 9 out of 10, what's going to happen is that person is going to draw you back into where, you're used to. And I refuse to go backwards, and you should too. Why people stay with familiar, unchallenging people? People are fear of loneliness. They like comfort over calling, trauma bonding, identity tied to the old seasons. Growth requires loss, and loss feels painful. Many people choose to stay in things that are familiar because growth confronts insecurity, and that is why people do not like change. Bring me my challenge. Right? And that's the kind of mindset you have to adopt too. Bring me my challenge. Because I want to grow, and you should want to grow too. God created you to be fruitful and multiply, right? Read Genesis, read the book of Genesis. So if he created you to be fruitful and multiply, that allows me to know that I should be growing. There's a problem if you're not growing. And that don't mean materialistic stuff and money, but in my inward self, in my just in my mind, in my everyday life, you should be growing. You should be growing, right? Let's talk about discernment, which I tell my kids about all the time. Like, especially in the world that we live now, not that we didn't need it back then, but you really need discernment. You really need discernment. So, what is discernment? Discernment is the God given ability to recognize what is right, wrong, healthy, harmful, divine, or deceptive, even when it looks good on the surface, because everything that looks good ain't good, right? I had to tell my friend that about money. Yes, I want a job, this and that and third, but if God didn't send me to do that job, I'm not going to do it, because yes, I need money, but all good money ain't good money, right? All money ain't good money. So let's talk about discernment. Discernment is not suspicion. Discernment is spiritual perception. You gotta have spiritual perception in order to walk this walk anyway. But just in life, you need discernment. You don't want to be hanging out with somebody that's envy of you. You don't want to be hanging out with somebody that is going to set you up. You just don't want to hang out with people like that, especially those that's in the street and selling drugs. Their discernment should be A1. So when they come over to Christ, that should be just sharpened. It really don't have much to clean up, because when you in the streets, especially selling drugs or whatever the case may be, you can't trust everybody. You have to look at everybody sideways. You just do. You have to. Because if not, this person can get you caught up in a situation that you know nothing about. Or this person could set you up and you don't even know it. Right? So you gotta have, if you have to have discernment, if you have to have a clear mind of people out there in the streets, you definitely got to have a clear mind of people when you come to God. Because then you got a lot of pastors that's preaching, but at the same time, they're only preaching with their mouth. They got saved with their mouth. In here, they did not get saved. They're a wolf in sheep's clothing. And you got to know those things. You got to know those things. Okay, why discernment is critical. Number one, it protects your peace. It guards your purpose. It prevents unnecessary heartbreaks, relationships, unnecessary heartbreaks. It aligns relationships with your calling. Okay, so why would I want to get somebody that, okay, I'm doing what I'm doing for God and this too. Why would I get somebody that is not aligned up with what I'm doing or going to do or become? No, that doesn't make sense. That means that my husband at some point may get jealous of what I'm doing, or he may sabotage what I'm doing, and I may get in the frenzy of maybe I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, all because I didn't use discernment. All because I didn't use discernment, and because we are women, we're gonna think that our husbands or our husbands know more than we know. Not necessarily, but that's why you have to have discernment. That's why you take it to God and not be unequally yoked. Because if I desired a husband, God is not going to send me somebody that is not going to help perfect or get my calling or get this ministry or doing whatever it is that I'm doing for him. He's going to send somebody that's going to align with that, not somebody that's far from it. Right? Yeah, it's just not what he's going to do. Okay, so not everyone who starts with you is meant to finish with you. Some relationships expire, not because of hatred, but because of growth. God often removes people not to push you, but to protect the next version of you. Pray for discernment. Honor boundaries. Guard your circle. And not everybody, you can't take everybody with you. Little Billy from the hood, you can't take with you probably, right? You want to see that person prosper. You want to see that person do the same things you do and be good, because he or she had a hard life, but not everybody going to be able to go with you. I lost a lot of communication because of growth, whether it's family or not. Did it hurt at first? Yes, but I protect me more. I love me, and I'm going to protect my assignment that God has called me to do. I protect it. I honor it. You know, I have a circle But I don't have a circle that I just sit around and talk to that person 24/7. No, no. I like my peace. I don't want junk in me. I don't need nothing to distract me. I am very protective about my space and what God is doing in my life. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that you pray for discernment and take these five it's more people out there in the world, but take these five things that I wrote down and look at the personalities and the character in between and see if any of those persons in your life, and go to God with it. You have to acknowledge God in all things. All things. If not, you will be running around in a circle, repeating the same cycle, getting the same type of people. And that's why we get bad relationships, right? You want everybody to be your assignment, but God did not assign you to that person, right? So if this information is helpful for you, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. And if it's not, I'm pretty sure you know somebody that can use it, because the whole world needs to know about different types of people. I gave you five. It's more, but I just gave you five. Just start doing your homework and go to God, acknowledge him in everything, and pray for discernment. But if this video is helpful, just hit the like button, subscribe to it. If not, make sure you share it to somebody that may need it. Have a good one.